Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations. This time, ironically, it's about the anime, and for those of you guys who have not gotten caught up on the car actuation arc, I highly recommend doing so because there are a bunch of little small Easter eggs and nuggets that tie directly into the manga. We're getting a lot of characters fleshed out that appeared in the manga that weren't necessarily there for a lengthy period in time, and yet they had a pretty decent role in the manga. So very nice to see something like that. But in the anime currently, we're finally getting something that so many people have wanted to see, which is Boruto finally getting his own training arc where he's training under somebody. While this isn't Sasuke, while the writers trolled us and had Boruto go to Sasuke and ask Sasuke to teach him a better version of the Rasengan, it actually ended up being Kakashi Hokage who Boruto's gonna go to. And I've seen a lot of people theorize, well, because Boruto's already done lightning release in his Rasengan, what could Kakashi possibly help him do? And I want to just go ahead and say right now, we know that Boruto is going to be getting a new type of Rasengan that should help him in the battle against Deepa, something that can be his new trump card. And I definitely think that this is going to be a moment where we're going to see a different type of Rasengan that is going to be elemental based. However, I think that the way that we're going to get to it is going to be very different, and it's going to be because of what we actually see with Kakashi's training with Boruto. Now, I do think that fire release Rasengan is something that could potentially be what Boruto learns, and I'll break that down for you as we look at Boruto's training under Kakashi. And I think that there's an aspect of Boruto's character that so many people are overlooking that is very fundamental to how Kakashi is going to approach Boruto's training. So when you go back to what Masashi Kishimoto said about Boruto as a character, he said that Boruto is immensely talented. He's somebody that does not have to work hard to learn jutsu and learn things. However, the difference with him and Naruto is that Naruto would have to struggle and figure things out himself, whereas Boruto looks for ways to avoid all the hard work. Basically, he finds a way to go from A to Z. And so because Boruto knows all those shortcuts, Boruto ends up missing up on a lot of the fundamentals, even though Boruto is able to get to the end game, if you will. And so that's why you see Sasuke saying like, yeah, that's really cool. You have a lightning changing chakra nature Rasengan, the vanishing Rasengan, really cool, but you really suck at the basics of lightning release. Until you learn the basics of lightning release, there ain't nothing I can really teach you right now. And so the reason why I bring that up is that Boruto's going to go train with Kakashi. Kakashi knows that Boruto is a very talented Genin. He knows that. Way back in the academy graduation arc, one of the things that you saw is that Kakashi said, hey, this guy right here, man, your skill, it might be on a Jonin level, even though you're an academy student. And that's absolutely frightening, and yet there's so much that you still need to learn. And so the reason why I think that this leads us to fire release Rasengan is I think that what Kakashi's going to do is Kakashi's going to look at Boruto making the Rasengan. He's going to look at Boruto with the vanishing Rasengan, or he already knows about it, and he's going to tell Boruto, let's go back to step one. Now, why is that so important? Well, the reason why that's so important is Kakashi has trained geniuses, and one thing that I could definitely see is the fact that Kakashi's going to realize that even though Boruto can make the basic Rasengan, and even though Boruto has some aspects of it down, there's still some areas of the fundamental steps, whether it be the generating the large volume of chakra, or the compression, or getting the chakra to move around and basically creating that rotation effect. Somewhere in there, he's gonna have Boruto focus on one of them. Because this Rasengan could not do any damage to Deepa, I could see a scenario to where Kakashi basically trains Boruto in a way to focus even more chakra into his Rasengan and work with Boruto in a way that allows him to compress and contain a higher volume of chakra. Boruto said that he was going to put all of his chakra into his Rasengan, and yet one of the things that we definitely know about a character like Boruto is that while he does not have his father's huge chakra reserves, Boruto has a pretty significant amount of chakra. And so the fact is, I think Kakashi can bring something else out in him. And when you look at the person that Boruto's going to be fighting, Deepa's already been shown as somebody who can take lightning release attacks. So we know that at least that carbon ability that he has, where he's able to rearrange the molecules inside of his body into a highly dense version of carbon, and it's a metallic type of appearance. lightning's not going to do anything to it. Water, I don't think water could do something to it. Now, that brings me to the fire release Rasengan. I think that it would be really hard to just say, let's add in a lightning changing chakra nature into your Rasengan. We've already seen that happen unless Kakashi puts a new twist on it. And so I think fire release is better because Deepa's body is carbon, but it's also got that metallic appearance. And so if you add in a fire changing chakra nature to Boruto's attack and it's a highly concentrated fire release added to the Rasengan, I definitely think that that could do something to where maybe Boruto will be able to actually heat up the molecules inside of Deepa. And by heating up those molecules, maybe that's Boruto's way of basically getting rid of Deepa's ability. And if you get rid of that ability for Deepa to harden his body and be able to create those metallic cubes, if you take away that ability because you heat up the molecules so much that they actually disperse, now all of a sudden Deepa is a character that is manageable, because that's largely where Deepa's ability comes from, because Deepa was toying around with those people that Amoy had in his group, and yet at the same time Deepa, if I'm not mistaken, did have to use some of that carbon ability against Amoy. So I think that that could be something you see. The other idea is that if Kakashi teaches Boruto a way to infuse lightning release into Rasengan in a way that does not create the vanishing Rasengan, if we see something like that, again, it would have to be a little bit of rewriting of the lore that we have, but if that's something we see, then maybe the actual lightning release could be a way to actually undo that ability to where he's able to target the atom specifically. I think that one of those things, I'm not sure which, but one of those things is going to be ultimately how Kakashi is able to get Boruto in a position where they don't defeat Deepa, but more than likely they expose a huge weakness, and that opens up the door for Deepa to be defeated. However, I want to know from you guys, I really want to know from you guys, what are you guys' thoughts about that? Do you think it's possible for Kakashi to train Boruto in that manner? Let me know down in the comment section below, and let me know what type of Rasengan can Kakashi teach Boruto or help Boruto create that can actually bring down Deepa, and what do you want to see? Are you somebody like me who wants to see a fire style Rasengan, not a lava style like we saw with Naruto use, but a genuine fire style Rasengan? I think we've only seen that in the video games. I would like to see something like that. Or do you want to see water release, maybe an earth release Rasengan? Let me know what type of Rasengan you want to see Boruto be able to create. But so always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.